bien, salut tout le monde, c'est Blood, on se retrouve pour The Technomancer. Et on s'était arrêté là. Donc c'est parti, hein. C'est parti. Attendez, je retrouve tout. On a où, nous, en fait? Ah, ouais. Là-bas.
One of my ostriches is limping. I think she's hurt. Have you tried applying light bandage?
Now that we are at full strength, we must devise a way to compromise Victor's popularity at the Assembly.
I've got a lead. There's this grizzled old general who's been bitching about the lack of info he gets about Aurora. Right now, he's the only one with the balls to call Victor the Dictator incompetent. According to him, the Aurora Dowser's down shit creek and may have been booted off his post. If we can prove that General is right and isn't just some senile old man, maybe the Army's head honchos will be pissed enough at the Colonel to kick his buns in the sun.
We would need hard evidence.
I'm almost positive that Dandolo can help us. Noctis sends merchants everywhere, after all.
We also have some connections with Technomancers over there. They should be able to tell us what happened.
We could try Anton. Aurora's a little far, but there's no place that's safe from Anton's little birds.
It's a start.
Even if abundance is run from the top down, members of the Assembly would pay attention to uprisings. Some of your local allies could help you stir up some anger in the masses. The ASC has made their lives miserable for months. People are arrested on a whisper, live huddled in fear. It would not take much to spark the powder keg.
It's a good idea, but we can't influence entire populations by ourselves. We'd need allies hidden among the people.
Back when I was an artist, I got into some altercations with Assembly members who thought my shows were blasphemy. Maybe it was because I didn't say "Hail to the Shadow" 50 times. I can't say for sure, but if we could get them to think that Victor isn't a devout believer, we could get the large religious sect of the Assembly to revoke their support and demand his banishment. Or we could just give them a little nudge in the right direction by making them believe Victor steals relics for his own use.
We'd have to stage an elaborate setup, but I like it. After all, Trickster must get what he gives. We'll need volunteers that can pretend to be ASC. The plan is right up Anton's alley. It's possible for Dandolo or the opposition to help us out too.
One last thing. I was told the High Judge endorses all of Victor's decisions, even though I know for a fact that he hates him, which is more than a bit strange. The judge is such an honest man.
Or if you're in the mood to make a scandal, I've got everything we need. Did you know that Victor employs young women to worm out information on men he keeps tabs on? And I'm not Victor, but I have a feeling he used that info to blackmail these same men. If we can prove it, the Assembly would have a major meltdown. Their beloved Colonel, a pimp? To find evidence of his trafficking, we could look for the orders he gave his goons. Have you seen his hands? Far too immaculate to be doing this dirty work himself.
The Vori aren't doing anything about it. They must be profiting from it somehow. This is a dead end. We need to find a new approach.
Indeed. How's this? I've heard that a small faction of the Assembly blindly backs up Victor, no matter how crazy the project is. So I believe it almost certain that their chief of this faction was bribed. So unless we bribe him ourselves, we'll have to silence him.
It's not ideal, but I have no way of finding out what dirt the ASC has on that man. We'll have to go without his support and hope we can get enough voters elsewhere.
All these ideas will indeed cut off Victor from his support network.
But
This is going to sound self-interested, but if we could help the mutants escape from the pen, it would expedite the Colonel's downfall. The people and the Assembly would be outraged to know that after decades of civilized control, Victor was the one who couldn't keep them in check. I'd like to see the Colonel try to justify his mistake of so many slaves, particularly ones notorious for their feeble minds.
no, it's not selfish. It's a good plan. We're gonna help mutants in the pen prepare their escape. After a mass breakout like that, his reputation will never be the same. Thank you, all of you, for the ideas. Now let's make them happen. Hi.
Zachariah, to what do I owe this privilege?
I helped free your brothers.
Everybody? Did you save everybody?
Yeah, every one of them, safe and sound.
Oh, Zachariah, Zachariah, you are priceless. All the lives you have saved, all the good you've done, thank you. However, with my thanks, may I also ask another favor?
Of course.
Our growing nation is still trying to find itself. We can't continue to endure something that we feel is not true, but at the same time we have this yearning to look to the past to help explain our creation.
And you want me to help with that somehow? I'm not sure.
We are undertaking research in an attempt to understand the ties that still bind us to the settlers.
Ah, and you want relics?
Yes, to understand our connection to the past. But not just any relics. I've heard of 2 particular relics that might enlighten us, that might point to mutation before the turmoil, and that could finally cement our understanding.
Not the kind of relics you find in a thief's inventory.
No, from what I've heard, one's in Ophir, the other Noctis.
Alright, I can try to find them for you, but just trust me. More often than not, relics don't give you the answers you hope they will.
Qu'est-ce qu'on a ici? Alors attendez là, parce que c'est le bordel. La souris là, casse-toi. Ah oui, je vais finir cette arme. Hein. Ok. Bon. Alors maintenant, les quêtes. Ah, le bordel. Oh.
Greetings, Zachariah.
Rumor is Aurora's dowser was deposed. I need to know it's more than rumor, though. If it's true, we might be able to convince some members of the Assembly that Victor needs to go.
Even though I don't like the idea of continuing the conflict between Abundance and Aurora that has caused so much suffering, if it's what needs to be done to dethrone Victor, I have a few contacts among Aurora's Technomancers. They're not quite brothers, but they're at least like cousins. And I've heard their messengers nearly always follow one particular shadow path. Let me show you. This one here. If you go, you may be able to stop one of their couriers. If the news you're expecting is as important as you say, I'm sure it will be in the documents they are carrying.
Thanks, Melvin.
Zachariah, I've received a message from Dandolo. He has some information on the disappearance of Patience.
Really? Did he learn where he was taken?
The ASC had him locked up in an old dome near Ophir. In his message, he says that it's a dome that Technomancers used to use. Does this sound familiar to you?
Hard to forget. Yes. That's where initiations would take place before a mantis destroyed everything. We'll have to go free him. The place must be teeming with soldiers fighting for Victor. But we can't leave the old Technomancer in their hands.
Ah. Eh ben c'est la merde tout ça.
Hi, Zach. How are you?
Hello, Amelia.
Ok, y a rien. Allons-y, hein. C'est pas par là. Ah si. Voilà. Allez loulous, on va avoir de ces trucs à faire, hein. Ouf. Alors on commence par quoi? Noctis, on va commencer. Voilà.
Some relics. You're a Technomancer. You gotta know where we can find some.
Yeah, but the relics we keep aren't ones I'm gonna use for an operation like this. We need some minor relics.
What's the difference?
The amount of information we can get from them. Most of the objects dating back to the settlers are just trinkets. The ones we keep are data interfaces, though. Way too valuable to risk losing.
Repent! We won't have access to the Blue Paradise so long as we are not all absolved of our sins. You came here to wash your soul?
I had something else in mind. I'd like to buy back the relics I brought to you the other day.
What? No, I'm afraid I cannot honor your request. Those relics represent the blessings that the Shadow bestows upon our followers. To just sell them away would be like selling away my faith.
J'attaque.
I guess I'll just have to take them back.
Shadow, protect me! Please, have mercy. I'll sell them. I'll sell them.
I'm sorry, that offer has expired. Now, if you'd please hand them over.
The sun will damn you 1,000 times for this. Beating and robbing a leader of the faithful. Here's the key to the temple's safes.
Bah écoute, hein, j'en ai besoin. Hein?
Sorry, pal, can't go through. Priest ordered us to let no one through. No one includes you. Sorry, pal, can't go through.
Eh bah utilise la force.
Repent. We won't have access to the...
I had something else.
Ah bah je comprends pas, je peux pas y aller. Comment faire? Par là, non? Hein? Ah, je comprenais pas, je pouvais pas me baisser. Vas-y, j'attaque. Alors, niveau 2.
Fortunately, this is beyond my skill level.
J'aurais pu ne pas perdre en fait mon... À niveau 3.
Fortunately, this is beyond my skill level.
Ah ouais, alors là tu m'en demandes beaucoup là, à niveau 3. Niveau 3, je peux pas, moi. Ah non, j'ai pas encore mon point. Et c'est quand niveau 33? Et on est... Je sais pas. 31. À moins qu'avec...
Fortunately,
No.
this is beyond my skill level.
Je pourrais pas...
Welcome, welcome. What's your pleasure? What are you looking for?
I'm looking to buy some ASC uniforms.
Not an easy thing to come by, but if you're willing to pay high enough.
Il m'en faut 3 de toute façon, donc voilà.
I'll take them all.
That's what I'm talking about. Making business.
Zachariah, what can I do for you?
I need your help. I'm trying to compel some assembly members to withdraw their support for Victor.
You have my attention.
There's a fraction of religious assembly members that would be appalled to learn Victor keeps certain relics for personal use. And if they did, it's all but certain that they would drop their endorsements and exile him.
And how exactly do you plan to prove that?
Oh, just by making Victor's relic collecting a little more visible to the public eye. Imagine a few ASC agents carrying relics, along with orders stipulating that they bring these objects to the Colonel. They're chugging along until they bump into a group of concerned citizens who insist they bring the relics back to the proper authorities.
Ah, so I guess you'll play a concerned citizen while my men dress up as ASC agents. They won't be flattered, but if you provide the costumes, they'll take care of the rest. I am pleased to know that my use of disguises inspired you. Perhaps we'll own a theater together someday. Anyway, you can count on me.
Ok. Donc on va faire Ophir. Ah non, le vieux dôme on va faire. Voilà, oui.
Square one.
Damn, that's weird. But I thought the dome was in ruins. So then, where'd they put that old geezer?
There should be a few standing structures next to the ones that collapsed. Unless they've already started clearing the rubble.
That sounds like bad news.
It would be. There were secrets in those ruins. I would rather have stayed buried. Especially from the ASC.
That's the problem with secrets. All that time spent worrying about someone finding out. It's a burden that turns into a habit, that turns into obsession. I know you're just as scared about what's in the dome as what patience might reveal. I just hope the old man's still holding on. He's as stubborn as an unfed ostrich. But I don't know if it'll be enough in the hands of the ASC.
Poor Patience. He thought he was finally safe in Noctis. Instead, we threw him straight back into Victor's arms.
What do you mean? We saved him from that camp.
It's just, we must have attracted the attention of Victor's spies when we asked Dandolo to keep an eye on him. He was supposed to be just another nobody in Noctis, but our request ended up selling him out.
These thugs, more like cavemen with bigger sticks, don't understand respect, science, age, or knowledge. Any problem they can't solve, they'll use torture. What's 2 plus 2? I don't know. Let's torture the mathematician and find out. Ugly brutes. If they take power in abundance, they'll turn it into a Darwinistic jungle. A whole group of psychopaths, wanting to take control of everything through mindless violence.
Sounds like this story hits close to home.
It's true. I understand what that poor Technomancer must be going through. The pain. So, I hope we find him soon.
What's that place? Never heard of it.
The Technomancer's museum and library, where we used to do all our initiations. Kept all our knowledge.
So what? Then the ASC destroyed the dome?
No, I did. During my initiation, a giant mantis somehow snuck in, and obviously a fight broke out. And you can imagine what followed.
At least you got out alive, no?
Oui, il y a du monde. La caméra, bordel! Ok, je peux aller voir par là quand même. Il n'y a rien. Les dégâts quoi, comprends. Je sais que ça fait pas mal de temps que j'ai pas joué, mais quand même. Mon dieu. Merde. Je comprends pas là, je me prends le coup, je devrais pas quoi.
Ah!
Voilà. Oh, ça va être fou, ça. Je sais pas ce qui s'est passé là, mais c'était n'importe quoi. J'allais bugger. Nisha! Nisha, qu'est-ce que tu fais là? Nisha, voyons. Oh, une clé ancienne. Ah ah.
Patience! Wake up! Patience, come on! Damn it, they almost killed him.
Stop! Let me go. I won't tell you it. Zach? Zach? Holy shit, is it really you?
What the hell happened to you?
I was on the way back to my place. There was someone behind me, and before I could turn, he was on me. Next thing I knew, I woke up in a cell. They tortured me for days. Wanted me to talk, wanted me to tell them everything I knew about you. Where you were, what you were doing, what we found.
You figure out what the tablet said?
Unfortunately. If I hadn't, then I wouldn't have been able to tell them anything, but I just finished when they found me.
What did it say?
It talked about a giant research base that was able to keep in contact with Earth. They had a beacon and gave the base's coordinates. I mean, the coordinates weren't up to date anymore, so I had to recalculate them, but it's in the South Pole, Zach. It's protected by a huge layer of ice.
What did you tell him?
At the beginning, I fought, Zach. I did. I fought. Didn't say a damn thing. Then Victor came. And the shit he did to me, Zach, you have no idea. I didn't tell him everything. I didn't, but I had to tell him something. Or I told him what I found in the tablet. Everything. I'm so sorry.
Stop. It's fine. You did what you could. Everyone's got a breaking point. If you can walk, we need to get out of here.
I can. Let me try. Just let me rest a minute. Just a minute.
All right. Let's untie you and get you out of here.
Must find the City of Ice before they do, Zachariah. If Victor finds the beacon, he could use it to gain the people's trust. Furthermore, if he finds the secrets buried there...
He's got a head start, but we'll catch him.
Aye aye, Zach. If it's really the City of Ice...
What?
I'll have to make some mods. It'll be tougher than you think. Also, wear an extra layer or two if you don't want to freeze your nuts off.
Big Ice City. Huh. That reminds me of...
A tangent that'll lead to another tangent?
No, Yes, that was it.
What do you think we'll find in that lost city? You know, besides the beacon. I suspect the settlers brought back plants and animals from Earth, and probably left some in that base. And if just a few survived, we could find an ecosystem unlike any on Mars, completely sheltered by the ice.
Why should we go to this city instead of just overthrowing Victor? What are you planning?
I'm looking for a beacon. I want to get in touch with Earth, but not so I can run from the ASC, and so I can reunite with our ancestors, gain back everything we've lost. With the people of Earth, we can stop the wars over water. We can utilize the technology we lost. We can understand the choices they made.
That sounds perfect. Too perfect. I hope what we find doesn't disappoint you.
Meet Patience. We just broke him out of one of the ASC's jails. He could use a place to recover.
Then he is welcome to recover here. Our healers, Patience, will be honored to tend to your wounds.
Oh, that would be great. Thank you. All this reminds me of an old hiding spot I had in the desert. Thank you again, both of you.
This is real nice and all, but I don't know about all this.
About what?
I'm guessing you're gonna want to go to that city, right? Right. Problem is, that city's coordinates, according to what Patience said, is the South Pole. Rover's good, but it ain't that good.
Any way to make it that good?
I don't know. Gotta think about it. I mean, it'd need some sort of ice-breaking blade in the front and insulation around the whole thing.
If I know you, I'm sure you'll figure it out.
I like your faith in me, but... Problem is, I don't have a damn clue how to add all that heavy shit to the rover's frame without slowing it down like fucking crazy. My dad would have known what to do. I'm not my dad, though. I knew he'd made improvements to his machines, but I don't remember seeing any diagrams. Though they could be somewhere in the shed. I don't know. Maybe Scott could help us?
We can ask, I guess, then head to the shed with him. See what we find.
Gonna be damn fucking cold out there, Zach.
Maybe we should go borrow some gear from Victor. He's known the site's coordinates a lot longer than we have. Sure, he's built some cold weather equipment already.
I like the way you think, Zach.
Scott et Amelia. Putain. S'il faut que je prenne Scott, ah ça fait chier, j'ai pas envie de le prendre quoi. Ah. Bon, bien les loulous, on va se laisser là, donc je vous dis à plus tard pour la suite. Bye bye.